Hello my loves and thank you for joining me. It's Kirsten and it's time for our first TBR of 2022. I'm so excited, I can't wait to get stuck in, try out some new books, etc. Now, as I've been doing for the last few months, if you've been watching me for this long, then you would know that I have not been taking part in any readathons. That's gonna kind of continue. There's only one that I am planning to continue, and that's the one being hosted by G over at Book Roast, but that's not back until I think March time, so I'll be taking part in that one. If anything does crop up, I will do separate TBR videos, but as of now, no readathons in January, which I'm actually pleased with. It takes the pressure off. With regards to my TBR game, we're going to go with the changes that I made in December. I much preferred it. So we're going to be doing 5 rolls this time instead of 6, and I will still be keeping with the re-roll. Every time a colour comes up twice, I will re-roll. So say if 2 pinks come up, I take a re-roll. If 3 pinks come up, there's no re-roll. So it's nice and simple. And then we're also going to go with what I did before as well, because you did seem to like that, and that is choosing the prompts as we go along. So with all of that chatty bit out the way, let's choose our 6th prompt. Let's go with just yellow. Standalone. Okay, now that that's chosen, let's go to roll number 1. Roll number 1. Oh, green. Oh, standalone. Okay, well the first prompt is the first one we chose, and that's standalone. And I've decided to be brave, and yet it may also turn out to be very silly. But we are going to go with the huge tome that is Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clarke. This is a book I've been saying I want to pick up for a while. It is also on my 22 books to read in 2022 video, and I just feel like if I don't do it now, I'm never going to. Plus, I do want to read this when it is cold outside, because I do feel like it's going to be that perfect sort of a read. However, I am terrified because it is 995 pages long. This is going to take a little while to get through, but I'm really excited for it. So let me just read on the back. So it literally says, the year is 1806. England is beleaguered by the long war with Napoleon, and centuries have passed since practical magicians faded into the nation's past. But scholars of this glorious history discover that one remains, the reclusive Mr. Norrell, whose displays of magic send a thrill through the country. Proceeding to London, he raises a beautiful woman from the dead and summons an army of ghostly ships to terrify the French. Yet the cautious, fussy Norrell is challenged by the emergence of another magician, the brilliant novice Jonathan Strange. Young, handsome and daring, Strange is the very antithesis of Norrell. So begins a dangerous battle between these two great men, which overwhelms that between England and France, and their own obsessions and secret dabblings with the dark arts are going to cause more trouble than they can imagine. It sounds really good. I'm so intrigued. I mean, historical setting, magic involved, it sounds perfect. So I definitely am excited to pick it up, but also terrified at the same time. I'm going to say here and now, the rest of this game, 1, let's hope for no bloody rerolls, and 2, let's go for little books. Small books, I think is the way forward. But let's see what happens next. But we do need to choose our 2nd prompt, so let's go with, let's go green. Thriller. Okay, roll number 2. Roll number 2. Pink. Mystery. Well, roll number 2 is mystery, which we do like, and I am currently in the middle of my reading the Sherlock Holmes books in the order to read them in, and so that brings me up to The Adventure of Sherlock Holmes by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. So this is a collection of small stories. So we have a series of 12 of their earliest cases, which I'm actually really excited for. I think it's going to be a fun time, and because they're like 12 small stories, I think I'll read these over the course of the month. Maybe read like 2 a week or something. Also, if you can hear a lot of huffing, because I have both dogs in the room at the moment, they will not leave me alone, so we're having a lot of huffing and weird sounds. But that's quite a good book. I'm actually really excited to carry on because I haven't read a Sherlock Holmes book in a couple months, and well, I think actually no, it was November, so ignore that. Anyway, I am really enjoying my read along of Sherlock Holmes books. I think they're really good fun. They're just brilliant language used, and it's just got this perfect old English setting, which I really do adore. So yeah, excited to carry on with that. All right, let's change it up, and I think, ooh, let's go for a blue. Which blue should we go for? I feel this one. My absolute favourite, a retelling. Okay, roll number 3. Roll number 3. Purple. Under 250 pages. Well, we like this prompt, and that's to read a book under 250 pages, which always works perfectly for these little black penguin classics. I adore these, and this time I'm going with Circe and the Cyclops by Homer. As we all know, I love retellings, and I did read Circe by Madeline Miller, so I'm really excited to read an actual classic around Circe, because I haven't read any really mythology based on her. So I think it's going to be really interesting to actually read this and see where some of that inspiration came from. So yes, very excited to read this. As I said, I do love these. I've said it so many times, they're perfect for dabbing your toes into the waters for different authors and just seeing if you like their works, or in situations like this where they are just little short stories, which is perfect, especially considering I chose that mammoth of a tome. So I feel like this is going to be a perfect one that I can just relax to and just pick up one evening and make it feel like I've accomplished something. So yes, perfection. But we do need to choose the 4th prompt. Okay, oh, you know what? Let's go pink. We haven't done pink, so let's go pink. Oh, actually, let's go that one. Lowest rated on my TBR. Okay. Not what I was expecting, but we're gonna go with it. And okay, roll number 4. No rerolls yet. I've probably jinxed it. Why do I always say this? I've probably jinxed it. Let's hope I haven't. Roll number 4. Orange. Adult fantasy. I'm genuinely shocked that we haven't had a reroll yet, but it also makes me terrified for that 5th roll. Anyway, we had adult fantasy, which in all honesty, I was a little bit stumped for. Because 1, I didn't want a massive book, and 2, a lot of the adult fantasy books that I have, I've actually read, which I was really surprised at. I thought I had a lot more unread, but I really don't. So clearly we should probably go shopping for some adult fantasy books because we are running low. But one book that I have got recently, which I cannot wait to read, and that is The Horseman by Christina Henry, and this is kind of considered dark fantasy. It's her horror retellings, but I double checked with Waterstones and they class it as a dark fantasy, so it does work for this prompt. And yeah, I'm really excited for this. I don't know too much about it. Honestly, I'd rather not know too much about it. It's a very short book, beautiful red edges, the Waterstones exclusive. It is gorgeous. Anyway, this is a retelling of The Horseman of Sleepy Hollow, and I'm super excited. I will admit, I actually don't know the true story, like the original story behind all of that. I will have to look into that and find a original copy so I can, or original telling of that story, so I can actually know where this is coming from and what she's adapted and everything. But I love Christina Henry. I think she's an amazing author, one of my favourite horror authors. I've mentioned her quite a lot already lately, but yeah, it's just, I really do like her work. I think it's really well done. I'm always intrigued, but I do want to go into this knowing nothing about it because of the fact that it is so short. So yeah, I'm really excited to read this one. I think it's going to be an amazing time, and I'm loving all the images of the horseman for the chapter bits. It's just gonna be, it's gonna be so good. I'm so excited to get to this. And honestly, the fact that it's a small adult fantasy is quite rare as well, because I feel like adult fantasy are always really thick books, so it's nice to have something that's a little bit smaller. Okay, the 5th time we've got to do this, and I'm terrified because I just feel like it's going to be reroll central. let's see. You know what? We started with a yellow, let's end on a yellow, hopefully. Fingers crossed, we'll see. Horror. Okay, roll number 5. Okay, roll number 5. Come on, blue or yellow. Ooh, okay, well, that's a pink, which is retelling. Okay, well, let's choose over blue again. Okay, reroll number 1. Ooh, okay, orange, horror. Reroll number 2, yellow, highest rated on my TBR. Yeah, there it was. That was a roll and a half for roll number 5. But the first roll was retelling, and I've decided to go with The Silence of the Girls by Pat Barker. And I believe this is all about, yes, a retelling of the Trojan War, but this time all about the women's perspective. So it literally says, when the Greek Queen Helen is kidnapped by Trojans, the Greeks sail in pursuit, besieging the city of Troy. Trapped in the Greek soldiers' camp is another captured queen, Berenice. Condemned to be a bedslave to Achilles, the man who butchered her family, she becomes a pawn in a menacing game between bored and frustrated warriors. In the centuries after this most famous war, history will write her off, a footnote in a bloody story scripted by vengeful men. But Berenice has a very different tale to tell. I really am excited for this. I really enjoyed Song of Achilles, which is also a retelling of that time period where it mentions Berenice. I'm probably butchering that name, but it mentions her as well, but you don't get too much about her. And I've been trying to read the Iliad as well, which again mentions her, but as it says on the back here, more as a pawn between these men. So it'd be really interesting to actually see it from her perspective. This is a book that I've been wanting to get into for a little while, especially because I am really enjoying all the retellings around that sort of time period. Well, retellings in general, to be fair. So yeah, very excited with that one. It's also quite a short book, so this should be really good, and I'm expecting it to be quite an impactful read as well. Then for horror, I actually have 2 books and I wasn't sure which one to go for, so I'm gonna get you guys to vote on it. We have a YA horror, which is Dark and Shallow Lies. In this town, magic runs deep, but secrets run deeper. So it's literally a missing girl, a town full of psychics, and secrets that won't stay buried. So it sounds really intriguing. And then we have an adult horror, which is the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. This is a book that I have been wanting to read for a little while, and it's literally what it says on the title page. We have this book club group that are convinced that a vampire has come to town and are going to slay him. I really enjoyed Horror Store by Grady Hendrix. I liked the dark humour in it. It is a little bit grotesque in places, so I'm expecting something similar. But I've also chucked this one on because I feel like this one will be a quicker read, and considering that I have a massive book to try and get through this month, and now more books than what I would personally like, considering I have that big tome to get through. But yeah, so I am actually intrigued to get both. This one was literally a pick up on a whim, and this one, as I said, I've been wanting to read for a while. So let's vote on that, and I will probably pick this up halfway through the month of January and just see which one got the most votes. So yeah, I'm excited for both of these. I think it's going to be a funny time in this one, and I think this one's going to be a bit more of an intriguing, maybe a bit more like atmospheric read, but let's see what you guys vote. And then the last one is highest rated on my TBR, which I do this by using my Goodreads, so fingers crossed it's working. So let's go on to my want to read. I do actually need to update this and actually put all the books that are on my TBR on this, but there we go. Okay, so a book that I own but I haven't read yet. Let's see what's at the top. I mean, I do want to get Emperor of the Vampire, but I'm going to wait till it's on paperback. John Gwynne. Oh, okay. This was not what I was expecting, and that is, if it will show, is it going to show? This one. Aristotle and Dante discover the secrets of the universe, and that's got 4 stars. Well, 4.34. Okay, let me get that. Okay, so this is a book I picked up literally because I saw it going around Instagram a little while back and everyone seemed to be really hyped about it, but now it's kind of lost that, but we'll see. I think this is more young adult, and I'm not sure what end of the young adult spectrum, because I feel like you've got the young adult spectrum that's edging towards adult, and then you've got the young adult which is more towards middle grade. No idea what spectrum this is on. All I do know is what it says on the back, and that is Aristotle is an angry teen with a brother in prison. Dante is a know-it-all with a unique perspective on life. When the two first meet, they seem to have nothing in common, but as they start spending time together, they develop a special friendship, the kind that changes lives and lasts a lifetime. Together, Ari and Dante will learn the most important truths about the universe, love, and the kind of people they want to be. Let's see. Honestly, I think it's meant to be quite nice and cute. but like I said, I haven't really seen much about it, although it does say on the front here, a gorgeous love story and a forever favourite. Okay, well, let's see what it brings. I do like this cover, I think it's very nice, and also the sprayed edges are always a nice bonus, but yeah, I've got no idea what to expect from this anymore. Yeah, so that was a wild card and a half. I mean, it's been on my TBR for a while, but I never really thought I'd pick it up, like at least not anytime soon, but apparently that is about to change. So let's go with this. Okay, well, this is the definite. So we have 6 books here, which honestly I'm still very scared of the tome that is Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell, but we also have one of these 2 books to add to it as well, which obviously you guys are going to vote on. But yeah, this is, honestly, I would say it's manageable if it weren't for the fact that I picked a almost 1,000-page book at the start. So more for me, but we can do this. We can definitely do this. I mean, it's going to be 7 books this month, so hopefully we can do all of that. Wish me luck, I guess. But there we are. That is the first TBR of 2022. I'm very excited for it, if a little bit intimidated. I'm not going to lie. Let me know what books you guys are hoping to read this month, if you've got any favourite. If you made it this far, let's put a little book stack emoji, and yeah, that's everything. So thank you so much for watching. If you have enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it that thumbs up, subscribe, comment to let me know that you're here, and yeah, social media links will be linked below, and I will of course catch you in the next one.